So I love Red Velvet. They literally debuted the same week I got into K-pop, so they kind of reflect my K-pop age, you could say. And seeing that they're coming up on 6 years together, I feel really fucking old. However, I've always viewed them as a vocal group throughout those 6 years, with Wendy and Seolgi's vocals always having to take center stage for me when thinking about Red Velvet, even though I'm a Yeri biased fan, so it's kind of weird. So yeah, I never thought I'd be making a video about Red Velvet's raps, but here we are, with Joy, Irene, and Yeri all taking center stage in this video. So don't expect anything too fast here. Of course, there are good raps, because good raps require more than speed, but Red Velvet's raps are pretty tame in terms of speed, and I thought it would be fun to just figure out which songs were the fastest. But skip to this timestamp if you know how my series works and everything. For those of you who are new to this, let me quickly explain how this works in my series. I listened to all of Red Velvet's raps, and looking at those raps, I found what I thought were the fastest sounding parts by ear in that given song. Then it took 8 seconds of those parts to be constant with the other 49 rappers I've looked at so far, and counted the total amount of syllables in that span of time, and then finally I divided that total by 8 to find the average syllable per second count, and that is how we determine the quickest of Red Velvet's raps. As always, every Korean rapper I've ever done this song will be listed at the end of the video in order, so you can see how Red Velvet's rappers compare in speed. Hitting it off with number 8 though, we have a tie, so we're gonna have actually 9 songs on this list. But this first song we're gonna look at is an Irene verse in Taste. As I mentioned in the intro, don't expect them to get too much faster than here, but in Irene's verse in Taste, 2 minutes into the song, Irene hits 44 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 5.5 syllables per second. Not the most up there, but you know, we will get a little bit higher though. However, before we get higher, we do have to talk about the song that is tied with Irene's verse in Taste, and it's actually another Irene verse, but this time in Ice Cream Cake. Surprisingly, not only are the stats the same since they're both tied for 8th, but the timestamp is exactly the same as in Taste. In Ice Cream Cake, Irene again, at 2 minutes in, again, hits 44 syllables in 5.5 seconds. Again, it's like it's like different raps, but the same speed in every part of the song too. It really makes you think like how much different you can make a rap at the same syllable pace. I don't know, it's weird, it's cool to think about. And moving on to number 7, we can finally start moving up and progressing through this list. We have a rap by Yeri, probably my favorite one by her. It's her rap in Red Flavor. I swear, I thought this would have been one of the fastest, like up in the top 3, just going off pure guesses. But surprisingly, there are 6 more Red Velvet songs that are faster than this, because in Red Flavor, Yeri hits 45 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 5.63 syllables per second. My tongue got twisted. And that's about 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the song. Moving on to number 5, we have a tie, and we have another B-side, but not only that, we have our first multiple member rap. I'll explain that in a second, but it's the song Time Slip with Joy and Yeri. I swear this song would have been so much higher on the list if there wasn't that big pause between the 2 verses between Joy and Yeri, but still, at 1 minute and 31 seconds into Time Slip, they hit 46 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 5.75 syllables per second. And what I mentioned before about the multiple member rap is when, for example, Joy and Yeri both combined for an 8-second verse that makes them one of the fastest Red Velvet songs. There's a few more of these. They won't count towards the end of the list ranking the individual members since they're using each other's voices, but I still want to include them in an 8 fastest Red Velvet raps, you know? And our other song tied for 5th place is a solo Joy verse in their title track, Ice Cream Cake. like Time Slip before this, Joy hits 46 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 5.75 syllables per second, and this is about 2 minutes and 11 seconds into the song Ice Cream Cake. And this is our last time on the list, don't worry everyone, from here on out we're only going up, starting with number 4, where we have my second favorite Yeri verse ever, and it's in the other title track called Peekaboo. In Yeri's verse in the song Peekaboo, at 1 minute and 17 seconds into the music video, she hits 48 syllables in 8 seconds, which simply averages out to just 6 syllables per second. Nice and easy math right there, I love those. But let's move on to another B-side, but this time by Irene. Genuinely, this song is in my top 8 favorite B-sides of Red Velvet, just my top 8 favorite songs, it's way up there. But it's Irene's verse in Campfire. In Irene's smooth and flowy and amazing verse in Campfire that I love so much, she hits 51 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 6.38 syllables per second. And just like the first 2 songs, this is also at 2 minutes into the song. What is with Irene and rapping fast at 2 minutes into the song? I don't get it. But anyways, this is our fastest solo person rap in Red Velvet. Our top 2 spots are both multiple members of Red Velvet rapping in 8 seconds. So Irene technically has the fastest by herself rap. However, a fastest combination rap in Red Velvet is in a B-side song called Don't You Wait No More with Yeri, Irene, and 1 syllable from Wendy. Okay, I know Wendy's technically singing, so it shouldn't count towards the rap, but even if we took that syllable out, it'd still be number 2, because at 34 seconds into Don't You Wait No More, the girls hit 53 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 6.63 syllables per second. And honestly, I could have counted Wendy saying multiple yeahs, because she kind of did, but she's technically not rapping, so I just wanted to count it once and leave it at that. So let's move on to the fastest Red Velvet's rap, where it's probably unsurprising that the gold medal for fastest Red Velvet rap is a verse in Happiness featuring Joy, Irene, and Wendy. Okay, I'll be honest, I remember when this song came out, right when I first got into K-pop, and I was obsessed with those Joy and Irene parts of the rapping and the pre-chorus. They were so unique and good at the time, but in this verse by Joy, Irene, and Wendy, at 1 minute and 38 seconds into the song, they hit 55 syllables in 8 seconds, which averages out to 6.86 syllables per second. And like I said in the beginning, not the fastest verse in the entire world. Like, Red Velvet has pretty tame raps because again, they are more of a vocal group. However, I still wanted to see what the fastest were, what the 8 fastest Red Velvet raps were. And since I included Wendy on this list, I know that she has this like really insane talking speed where she like talks really fast, and I've done that for technically Outsider when he tried to do his rap as fast as possible, and Changbin, but I didn't include that here. I just don't like myself for including that. I felt kind of cheap doing that for Changbin and Outsider before, but yeah, so that's going to be left up. But scrolling on the screen right now is the fastest rappers of everyone I've done, all their fastest speeds. And towards the bottom are the Red Velvet rappers. And it's not a knock on Red Velvet or anything, not a knock on the girls, because I love Yeri. It's just where they kind of match up. And we got Irene at 45 and the other 2 a little bit farther down. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, just on the way down in the comments below. And as always, K-pop and chill, the safe way.
보답을 너네 모두 꺼주시오 한국말로 하자니요 색하네요 스타일도 바꿨지 이제 내랑 비교 마시오 나한테 내서 이런 거 처음 해보지요 영어 빼고 말해 내 피부 노란색 그래 앞에 번호 8이잖아 빨리 전화해 네가 아는 여자애들 싹 다 불러 오늘 밤은 불지를 거니까 폰을 꺼두기로 해